Not gonna have it in time. Alright, it worked out. How did I live that? Hey friends, it's been a while since I posted Shadebinder content on the channel, but the reason that it's been sparse is because I've been maining console, and I'm going to argue that playing Shadebinder on console is a lot harder, because when you have mouse and keyboard, you can be very, very precise about flicking to places where you need to put your util, your cold snap, to basically combo freeze the opponent to get a kill. Sometimes one freeze isn't enough, sometimes you have to double or even triple freeze in order to get the elim. And sometimes that's the difference maker between winning a trials round outright. The other half of that is if you're a turret thrower, mouse and keyboard is really, really easy to line up with like pixels on the leaves and stuff like that to tap into warlock dark magic to be able to throw a turret on the roof. Probably gonna fail the first time going for it, but you've seen the videos. I'll link some of them in the description. So there you go. You can have like ceiling turrets and whatnot. Some unsuspecting guardian thinks they're being slick, and then they get hit by a turret, and they don't know where it's coming from, and then they're frozen. It's like an automatic win. That's why I call it the dark arts. It's harder to do all of that on controller, so the loadout that was working for me on controller was just use Osmiomancy and pray. Throw the cold snap at the floor and pray. Judging from the clips you're about to see on the screen, you could see why I don't like this. Hello? Okay, now that we're back, I might as well explain the concept of this build. The concept is sometimes the enemy gets frozen, and instead of just deleting them instantly with the sniper rifle, I build up the Terrible perk on the frozen opponent. That's really it. The cool thing here is Whisper of Hedrons on controller. Reading dramatically increases weapon stability. It's pretty good for controller. Weapon aim assist, and airborne effectiveness. The airborne effectiveness doesn't count. That doesn't work on controller. Well, it does. I just suck at the game. So yeah, I'm not on speaking terms with cold snaps, so I had to find another solution. I went back to the turret thrower and modified it for controller by using Icebreaker and Peace Bond. Peace Bond having Desperate Measures, freeze somebody, punch them, proc the perk. That sounds pretty awesome. Peace Bond is one of the strongest close quarter weapons in the game. It keeps up with Last Word when you have a damage booster, and it also has Skulking Wolf. Absolute S tier gun. Icebreaker has some cool interactions. Freeze a dude, and you can just kind of like hip fire in their direction. If the bullet tags them, they ignite. It's absolutely a kill. So this was fine, but one huge glaring issue with this loadout. We got a wizard hat, but Eye of Another World doesn't have a wizard hat ornament. So I feel like that's kind of problematic. And that is what brings us to Ballidorse Wrathweavers. I'm literally running this just to run the wizard hat. I straight up do not care about what these do. But what these do is you throw down a rift, and you get ×8 frost armor, which does help change some crit ratios and some time to kill. And if you build into frost armor, like with this build, you can run fragments where you get a stasis weapon kill, has a chance to create a stasis shard, pick up the stasis shard, and it extends your frost armor. So it can be kind of good. You go Glacial Harvest, freeze an opponent, make more stasis shards, get more melee. I should probably mention the melee. If I have to choose between building into the grenade without a turret or building into the melee Penumbral Blast, I'm always building into the melee. The melee is 10 times more consistent than any of the grenades, including Glacier. Glacier is good though. It's kind of like a Titan Barricade. So this is one way to run it, is build into the Glacial Harvest, build into the Frost Armor, or just ignore it and just run good stuff. And that's what this build is. And you get to have a Wizard Hat. We've waited so long for a Wizard Hat in this game. I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna find a way to make it work. So what I go for this one, Torment, since I'm at 2 Discipline, you know, just take damage, get Grenade. It kind of adds up. Using Glacier. Rhyme, of course, to get more Frost Armor. Hedron, so when I freeze, I get more resilience and whatnot. I think this gives plus 60 to your mobility, resilience, and recovery. So with like my Osmio build, whenever I freeze somebody, I'm at 10 resilience. It's pretty good. But same idea here. And then Bonds makes an orb on a frozen target. I think this is imperative for multi-kills. You can see I build into Recuperation better already. Then I have Distribution on the class item and Dynamo on the helmet. I'm at 7 Intellect. And I'm not even using the Weenie Hut Jr.'s tonic that gives plus 50 Intellect in PvP. I mean, season's about to end. You might as well know about that. But I get first super over people with true 10 Intellect and like Wells of Radiance and stuff like that. I beat them to the super. Of course, you actually have to, you know, defeat opponents. And if it's 6 players in your lobby, all of them top 100, chances are you're getting the last super, even if you are landing the occasional freeze. The difference is, if you run Distribution and Dynamo against good opponents, you're at least getting a super. It just might not be the first super. And if you're able to pop Shadebinder, you can beat most situations in this game, and never ever forget that you can still throw your grenade or your turret or whatever while in Shadebinder. You can still use your Freeze Rift, etc. So overview now that I've shown you all the options. It's actually another half option. So 3.5 options. And that's don't play Shadebinder at all. Play Penumbral Blast, Prismatic Edition. This one is awesome. I can genuinely go flawless, almost as strong as my Invis Hunter, using this if I play it correctly. It's very, very, very strong. Devour is a little finicky working with these freezes to activate, so I just go Lightning Surge, and then I go the Claw class item with Necrotic. Necrotic comes up so often. You might be tempted to go Syntheseps with it, but the problem with Syntheseps is that it only improves melee damage when you're surrounded. So if you use the Lightning Surge into a crowd, thus proccing surrounded when you enter the crowd, it doesn't activate. You have to activate the Lightning Surge while you're already in the crowd. I think this build goes crazy. You got Hellion with a Strategist Gun to rebuild the Hellion, which scorches them and keeps them weak, keeps your tempo up. If you want to keep the tempo up, you dump Slayer's Fang around the corner to keep them weak. You get to kill supers and whatnot with Penumbra Blast, and you still got movement if you need the get out of jail free card or the team wipe. The only problem I have with this as to why I didn't run it on MNK that much is because sometimes I want to slide and then shoot my Penumbral Blast. But since I have Lightning Surge equipped, I can't bind that to a specific key. I believe there is a workaround where I can probably shoot a bullet. Nope, that doesn't even work. Forget I said anything. What makes Prismatic good is although it has slower base cooldowns, if you can work towards Transcendence, you can refill your melees. So if you play your economy right, you pretty much have limitless cooldowns as long as you're using the cooldowns to get a kill in the first place. And then if it's like a Well of Radiance or something, Transcendence can beat the Well of Radiance on its own, Then you have a super to deal with the second one. And then for the third Well of Radiance, you just got to pray your teammates did something, which might not happen. Anyway, friends, Camille's dagger to my head. Which one am I running? It's going to be the Eye of Another World turret thrower. As much as I do like the wizard hat, this just gets results on Shadebinder. However, if you see me in the Iron Banner next time, I might be running this with some friends, buffing them with Frost Armor, and then 2-tapping people with either the Prophet, Redrix's S-Stock, or something new with Kill Clip or Precision Instrument with Empowering Rift. Whenever the weapon stat exists instead of mobility, 200 weapon stat, Precision Instrument, Empowering, I might be able to 2-tap Raw like that. Okay, enjoy all of the example gameplays. This is going to be a long video. I will see you in the next one. So at least we have a chance to clutch. Oh, he choked.